Morning. Alright, so I'm on my way over to Anawalt Lumber. I hope they got what I need. I'm on my way to Kirgy's house. I gotta put the fascia board up and a drip cap under those shingles in that section of roof that I cut, and then I can start building the roof. Just want to address ego. A guy, you know, I know what this is about, so in these videos, you guys are great, because a lot of you were making comments like, hey, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody, you're great, we love listening to you, blah, blah, blah. Great. I had this one comment from a guy, and it's definitely achieving the effect, because he got into my head a little bit. He's like, I feel sorry for you. You need to look at yourself in the mirror in the eyes and ask yourself who you really are, because he thinks I got an overblown ego. Look, man, I'm about the most self-aware human being you would ever meet. I've been living alone since I was 14 years old, and ever since I was very young, I've been thinking like an adult and talking to adults like I was an adult. I've been introspective and questioning myself and trying to be a humble person for a very long time. And this is a thing I've been dealing with other people since I was very young, because they misread my confidence as arrogance. There's a difference there. There are people who are arrogant, you know, putting on airs and trying to be self-inflative, or however you want to look, ego-driven. I don't like that, you know, and if I think I'm coming off that way, I preface things. And if you'll notice that video I did, it was in the comments under the my response to the comments under the video I did with Wonder Hussy, Sarah. I'm saying things. As a matter of fact, I was trying to explain at one point a comment that I made when I made the video with Sarah when we were hiking, and I was very specific about it. I don't think I'm that great, that there's anything special about me. You hear me saying this all the time. Because I know I'm going to say something that a person like this guy is going to take the wrong way. Again, I'm not explaining myself or apologizing, but I'm bringing it up because people will misread you when you're confident, and it's because they don't have that same confidence. Like whenever somebody gives me some sort of bad, you know, like a negative comment, or they're trying to tell me what to do or how to think, hey dude, you were here first. There you go. Then I'll look at them. I want to see what their content is to see where this is coming from. And he has a YouTube channel, he has one video. There's a guy that's probably so concerned about coming off the wrong way to others, he's not putting any content out. And this is an issue, right, for people that do YouTube, because one of the reasons that it took me so long to do any of this is because that's how I thought. I didn't ever want to come off like a jerk or an ego-driven person. I was so concerned about that, it kept me from doing anything. It's the same thing with comedy. I really want to get up and start doing comedy. But one of the things that keeps me from, let's go. What the fuck, man? Sorry. I got things to do, man. This guy's just sitting at the stops. He's still sitting there because he's waiting for... anyhow. As I was saying, it's because of my own concern, because I've been picked on my entire life, ever since I was a little kid. I don't get picked on now, obviously, really, as an adult, because I carry myself and I look a certain way. And I learned how to deal with people who were screwing with me. But when I was a kid, it was constant. And we moved around a lot, so I was always the new kid. When you're the new kid, you're getting into a lot of fights everywhere you go. Every new school, it was the same thing over and over again. And then on top of that, as I've mentioned many times, and again, this is where people think you have a big ego, because I talk about it. All I'm doing is reciting and recalling and sharing true events from my life. And a lot of them had to do with women, and that was another thing that was a real problem. When you're a kid and girls like you, then other guys are jealous of that. And when they're jealous of that, they're going to lash out at you. That's how it works, man. When people are lashing out at you, it's because they are jealous. Usually, that's just what it boils down to, just to make it easy to understand. There's all kinds of other little variants involved and, you know, levels to it. So, I'm just saying, it's like, relax with that crap. If you're gonna be on social media and put yourself out there like I do, like Sarah does, like any other YouTuber, you're gonna get criticism from people. That's just part of it. I'm fine with it, I accept it. I kind of like it in a way when somebody irks me a little bit in the comments, gives me some crap, because that gives me an excuse for another video, which is what I'm doing right now. But you have to understand, there's a difference between, you know, arrogance and being an egocentric person or having too big of an ego, and being a confident person with a healthy ego. Look, man, forget about making content for a moment. You should love yourself. If you don't love yourself, if you don't like yourself, you better work on that, man. You better do what this guy suggests. Look yourself in the mirror and look and see what it is that you don't like about yourself and make those changes. I've been doing that since I was in single digits, working on myself. When people have said things about me that I didn't like, that was negative, well, then I thought about it, and I still do this, and I will make that change. I've told this story before. I remember, this is just one specific incident. Back in the 90s, I was friends with this guy, artist, taught art. He's in the permanent collection of Museum of Modern Art in New York City. I did a video on him, Jason Crum. And we were talking one day, and he made a criticism about my personality. He's like, man, every time you say something, you say it with, you know, like everything's a matter of fact. Like, you know, you're the end-all, be-all. And I thought about that, and I went, wow, he's right. I do that. So that's why I try to preface everything with, I'm not right about everything. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure this is 100% accurate, but this is what I read. You know, I try to do that so that I'm not trying to come off that way, because I know it's off-putting to others. That was over 30 years ago, man. Again, I'm very self-aware. So for those people, types of people want to tell everybody else what to do or how to live, or like they're trying to point it out. I think it's important to listen to that criticism. Listen to that criticism and then reflect upon it, because there might be a point there. There might be a point. Somebody could have a point. And constructive criticism is a good thing. But here's the point, real point of this video is, you can do the constructive criticism thing. When you're doing it, you have to understand that you're the one who's coming off as the one who's full of himself, because you think you know so much more. You want to tell other people what you think, like your opinion matters. Like, think about that. A lot of the people pointing fingers, they're not seeing it from that point of view. They just think that their perspective on things is the way it is. It's a freaking problem. And let's just get in here. So I'm driving. So there's that. They're not thinking about their own issues. And who are they? I mean, where's it coming from? Like, again, look at where they're coming from. I had a better point to make, but I think I lost it turning into this driveway. Let me think about it while I'm ordering something, and I'll try to keep this video short and sign off for you, because I got to get work done. Don't go anywhere. There's more to come. It was supposed to be a short video on my way to Anawalt, and then, like I said, I lost my train of thought there as I was pulling into the driveway. Now I'm shooting up Highland, driving through Hollywood here, get up on the 101 so I can get out into the valley. It's already warm here this morning. It's going to be a hot day. Might as well put the windows up and put the air on. I put this board up on the roof, vertical. It's a little 1x4 in cedar, and I hope hope it stays like that. Driving on the highway. Why is everybody driving so slow? Nobody's awake yet. Except me! Anyhow. Yeah. I'm not really bothered that much. It's like I say all the time. It is kind of fun when somebody leaves something as a comment that irks me a little bit, because it does give me an excuse to make a video about it. And I'm just pointing that out. I wanted to make that point, whether I made it or not. I forgot everything I said already, because I was just busy loading the van and buying more materials. But if you're going to do social media, you have to, I mean, you don't have to. There's plenty of social media. Like, I love when I contradict myself mid-sentence. There's that guy, Foresty Forest. Great video content. Little guy lives in his van. Foresty Forest, he lives in a van. He's a mountain climber. He's got a little dog. He does really cool stuff. He hates talking to the camera, but his video quality is movie quality. He does great drone footage. He's literally climbing mountains. You got somebody like Sarah. She's got both things going on, right? She's gregarious and confident and great video content. Here, you're getting kind of shitty video content and me just blathering most of the time. So I don't know. Like, it's so funny. Like, you could pick on so many people about having ego problems. Like, and then there's me, disheveled, crazy hair, dressed like a bum. Yeah, the guy is totally reading me 100% inaccurately. And it's funny too. What really helped me out when I was young, and by the way, go in the friggin' service and see how that works for you, having that kind of attitude. You will get the shit smacked out of you if you're walking around like you're the shit all the time. And when I got out of the service, I went to college. You know, a couple of years of college, you know, it's like 68 credits or something. But I had 4 college-level psych courses. And that really turned a gear in my brain. Because when you take Psych 101, you know, your first psych course, you think you've got everything. You think you have every one of those disorders that you're going to start studying. Because everybody does. Everybody has a little bit of everything. That's just how it is. And then you learn, like, okay, what's a healthy amount of this behavior or psychosis or something. And then the more psych you take, the more in-depth that you get into it, you know, you learn that all those things exist in everybody, but it's when any one of those things become an extreme is when somebody gets diagnosed with that, and then they've got to work on that. So, again, I'm very self-aware. So that's it. You know, take it easy. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Now I remember. It's about how you do your criticism. Because I get it all the time. And again, I don't mind, and I reflect on all of it. However, if you come off like you're a douchebag, that's going to be a problem for me. And the way that this guy worded it, the way he put it, like, the irony is, I encourage you to read through those comments and find this guy's comment, because there's an arrogance in the way that he phrases his criticism of my ego. And that's what I wanted to point out, is the hypocrisy. And that's how it always is. Whenever somebody's criticizing you, unless it's legit, right? And again, you have to be the arbiter of that. You have to be like, you can't always think that you're right about everything. We've been through this already. Like, we know who these people are who think that the way they think is the way it is. I don't think that. If I'm adamant, I'm like, this is exactly how it is. If I'm telling you a story about something I lived through and experienced, that is how it is, period. There's no other interpretation. If you were there, you saw it. Now, if you have a different recollection of it, and we could talk it out, because this happens to me all the time, a good solid 90% of the time, 91.7% of the time, my version is the 100% accurate version. Excuse me. every once in a while somebody will remember something, and it takes me a minute to think about what they're saying and process it, and then if they're right, I admit that they're right. I don't have to be right about everything. I do not have that gene in my body where I have to be the right one. It's the same thing about being like an alpha male. I'm not really an alpha male. I don't have to be the center of attention. I don't have to be the loudest guy there. I don't have to be the one taking charge. I've always had a problem with people labeling me as the alpha in the situation. That happens sometimes because when there's a group of guys around, a lot of times people see me as that figure, but you'll rarely see me taking that role on, unless like I'm working and it's my job to be the boss. That's different. So really what I am is what's called a Sigma male. All right, so look that up, Sigma male. That's the category I fit into the most. So there, you just learned something. That's it for now. I got to focus on driving, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Be kind to one another. Keep your ego in check.